Hi, I'm Lindsay Kirstich, and I've been asked by a few people to do a video tutorial on how to make the fitted face mask pattern with filter pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and do that today. And this is my first video tutorial, so if I mess up, I'm sorry. I'm not very good at it. First, you're going to hem the lining piece of your mask, and if you have a serger, it would take you a second to do. You literally will just sew right across here at this little notch, and that just cleans it up because you're going to see that as part of the pocket. If you don't have a serger, you can use your sewing machine and just do a quick turn in of about 1/4 inch and then top stitch it just to kind of clean it up, make it look nice. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm pinning it now, but to be honest, I don't always pin things. I'm kind of bad at that, actually. All right, go ahead and top stitch it. Alright, so that is done. I have my two pieces. I'm going to go ahead and place them right sides together. This one's kind of hard to see, but right sides together. And then I'm going to sew around this edge here, kind of going here, here, stopping, and then sewing from here to here. That way there's a hole open right here. That's going to be your pocket on the inside of the mask. Once that's done, you're going to do the same thing with your main piece. Put them right sides together. I'm using batik right now, which is kind of double-sided, so I apologize. I'm not able to show you the wrong side and right side as clearly, but you want to place right sides together for this one. And you are going to sew down this long curve here. That's going to be the part that is covering your mouth. Kind of, there's a side view. Alright, when that's done, you don't have to do this, but I do. You can make little notches or clip the curves here. Okay, and then you're going to turn it right side out. So this is going to be the front of your mask. There it is. You're going to do the same thing with your lining, turn it right side out. And then I like to just grab the seam of the lining and match it up to the middle seam of the main piece. Match up. I put the seams going the same direction. Pin it there, and then I will pin along the top part. In the newer masks that I've been making, I've been adding a medium weight embroidery stabilizer as a second layer of the main piece. So I've been cutting 2 pieces of stabilizer in addition to the 2 pieces of the main piece. Because I think it acts as a really good filter. I actually looked at it under the microscope, and it kind of blew me away at how much light it blocked. So I'm sure it wouldn't hurt to add it in there. It really, to me, doesn't affect the breathability that much. It does add a little bit of stiffness to the fabric, but I actually kind of prefer it that way. So we're all pinned up. What we're gonna do is sew along the top part. I don't know if you can see that. So here, and then we're gonna sew along the bottom part. So right along that way. Take out my pins. And this is the part where we're going to insert the elastic or ties. Sorry, I don't have a video tutorial for making the ties yet, so we'll just pretend you either have elastic or ties already made. So for this one, I'm going to use elastic, and I'm going to cut one about 13 inches and one about 11. Maybe a little bit less than that. And then I'm gonna stick my fingers into the little pocket opening here and insert the elastic. The longer one is going to end up going around above your ears, and the shorter one under your ears. So make sure that the longer one is on top. I have switched them before, and it's not a lot of fun to seam rip after you've top stitched over that. So don't make that same mistake. So I'm going to insert it in. I'm going to kind of push it so about a little bit sticking out. And then what I'll be doing is stitching directly over the elastic. And I want to make sure that I stitch forward and back over the elastic to make it extra strong. I think that's it. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other side, but I want to make sure that my elastic is flat before I do that. So you can kind of just feel with your fingers, make sure it's flat. You don't want it twisted. I don't think it would hurt anything, but it would bother me if it was twisted, so. All right. Sometimes you kind of have to push it with your fingers to fit. There you go. The bottom one's gonna be kind of at an angle. You can see it kind of going that way, whereas the top one is going more straight. We're gonna do the same thing on this side. Whoops, I had it on backwards. Now we're forward. Backwards. Backward. And this part, you don't have to do it, but I do it. I always clip the corners just because you'll be turning it over and top stitching over that elastic, so I don't like to stress out my machine by going through too many layers. So I've clipped the corners on the 4 sides, and I'm going to take my thumbs, put them into the pocket, and just turn it right side out. And then you can kind of pull on the elastic straps. They should be there nice and snugly. This is the basic part of your mask. You really only have one step left to go. This mask is actually really quick to sew. I average about 9.5 minutes. And that includes the nose bridge and putting the elastic in and everything like that. So that's pretty good. Okay, so you can kind of see it taking shape now. That's kind of what it'll look like. This part you're going to put some pipe cleaner in for the nose bridge. You don't have to use pipe cleaner. You can use whatever you have. Some people have been saying that the pipe cleaner rusts. I didn't have that trouble, but by all means, do whatever is good for you. Whatever works as long as it's bendable and contours to your nose. like that. So it's about a 6-inch piece of pipe cleaner, or just a regular pipe cleaner folded in half and cut. That's what I do. You're gonna bend it in a 1/2 inch. Oh, let me show you on another one. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. You fold in about 1/2 inch on each side and twist. You don't want anything poking your nose, so try to make it as soft as you can. That's your nose piece. And then you're gonna find about the halfway point. Reach inside your pocket. Make sure your mask is right side up. You don't want to sew this into the chin part by accident. I have also done that. So don't feel bad if you do that. And then kind of place the center of the pipe cleaner up against the middle seam. Hold it in place, and you can pin it. Because what you're going to do next is both top stitch around the mask and create a casing at the same time. It saves you a lot of time. I usually just put 3 pins around it. And then what you're going to do is mark out the point where you're going to turn with your needle, put your needle down, turn, pivot, sew down about a 1/2 inch, and then sew across the mask so that you're casing in your pipe cleaner. So it's about 2 1/4 to 2.5 inches in from either side. I'm going to go ahead and measure that. I mark it with a pin, that way I know where to turn. And then I always kind of start sewing on the top left side. That's just a habit for me. You can start really anywhere. But once you get to that first pin, stop, put your needle down, sew about a 1/2 inch down, and then sew straight across till you get to your next pin, turn, and then sew straight across. Finish top stitching it. So my needle's down. I'm going to turn. And I'm going to use the contour of the top part of the mask as kind of my guide. It's about 1/2 inch. It really doesn't need to be perfect. As long as it's cased in there, you're good. So I'm turning, and now I'm going to just continue top stitching around the rest of the mask. I just want to make sure my lining is not sticking out, because it's such a kind of a contrasting lining. It will definitely show. So I've top stitched around the rest of the mask, so I'm done. That's really all it takes to make this. I think it might look more complicated than it really is, but it's not. And when you're done, you should have a mask that fits your face really well. Some people have had issues, people who are smaller than I am, have had issues with some gaping underneath the neck. And you don't want that. So what I would suggest, if that is doing it to you, get a piece of elastic, maybe I would say about 3 inches wide. Pin it maybe about from here to here, and zigzag stitch over that, stretching it as you go. That way it'll kind of bring in the fabric a little bit. All right, so you're done. I'm gonna put this on. And this is an important part. If you're a nurse, you go through this all the time, or at least every year with your fit testing. You want to make sure your mask is put on correctly. So the elastic goes behind your head. One's above your ears, one's below your ears. They should be pointed so that they don't have any pressure on your ears whatsoever. The mask should come under your chin completely, so you're not going to have any air coming in from the underside. And you definitely don't want any air coming in at the bridge of your nose either. So make sure that your molded piece fits you well. This mask also, I curved it a little bit so that you have room to breathe. Some of the masks I think come in kind of close and they constrict breathing and would be just really unpleasant for you to wear, I think. I'm hoping this mask corrects a lot of those problems that I've seen. Not that anything's wrong with them, but for me, this was the best option. I love it. My nursing friends love it. And they can wear it for hours. It's pretty comfortable. I've actually worn this for several hours while I was sewing it, just to test it out to make sure that it's comfortable for me. Because if it's not comfortable for me, it's not going to be comfortable for anybody else. So I hope this helps. Thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'll be happy to help. So hope everybody keeps safe. Take care.